guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be playing with some makeup. I am super excited to say that this video is sponsored by Cult Beauty, and I thought what we could do is use a bunch of products, and I'm going to show you how you can create a full glam look using those products, but I'm also going to show you how to use those products in a really gorgeous natural way as well. I love both styles of makeup. I say this all the time. Makeup is a spectrum and I love every single little bit of it. It is my absolute passion, so I'm really excited to show you guys this. As I am partnered with Cult Beauty, I'm delighted to say that I have a discount code for you guys. So I'll put it on the screen here. It is CBJamie15. I'll pop all the details down below in the description bar as well. All the products that I'm using today, you can use the discount code for, so I'm just really excited to jump into the makeup. Also, I feel like I can say like, welcome to my home. We've got a new backdrop. This is Diana, by the way. Some of you guys might know Diana already from my Instagram stories, but I just think that this is a much more homey backdrop. I'm like, welcome to my home. Come and sit, have a tea. I have a chamomile tea right here. It's my new fave thing. Wellness. First product we're going to use is a primer. This is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. It's one of my favourite primers. For this, you can just use it all over your face. I am going to do half and half a face. It's apparently my new favourite way to show you guys makeup. This primer is just so gorgeous. I talk about the smell a lot. I really love the smell of it. And it's a really gorgeous glowy primer, which is great for both glam makeup and natural makeup. So I'm just going to pop that on all over my skin. I'm really excited to show you this makeup because I think sometimes there are certain products that lean a certain way when it comes to what style of makeup you can do. But I want to show you that you can really make your products work however you want them. Okay, next we're going to do foundation. I really like doing my foundation before my eyes these days. I don't know why. So I'm going to go in with the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation by NARS. This is one of my really favourite foundations, and I am the shade Stromboli. And what I'm going to do is take 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to, what side will be glam? Let's do this side glam. When we're applying foundation on the glam side, we're going to go a little bit heavy. So I'm going to do that side first. I just love this foundation. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll have seen me use it. A really beautiful finish. It's medium to full coverage. I just think it's so beautiful. And even though we've got that glowy primer on, we're still going to get a long-lasting base. Okay, look at that coverage. One side is prepped. Okay, on the other side, I'm going to go in with 1 pump. So that was 2 pumps on the other side. We're going to go in with 1 pump. And I'm going to concentrate this in the centre of my face. And I'm going to apply a little bit and then fan it out. This might look quite similar to start with, to be honest, but I'm using a really tiny amount. I might not even use a whole pump. I'm concentrating the coverage in the centre of my face, but I'm going to leave the side of my face pretty free of product. That's the way that I learned how to do foundation on people so early on. It's called the foundation flower. And it's by starting in the centre of the face, because when you're talking to someone, that is where you're looking. You don't really need as much around the sides. So I'm just using that right in the centre, and I've done a much thinner layer of foundation, but I've covered up my little blemish, and I've done very middle, but there's absolutely no product here. Let's move on to concealer. I'm going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Ginger, and on the glam side, we're going to do concealer. So I don't know if you'll remember. Everyone used to do this, do you remember? Triangle under the eye. Now I've got a concealer that's pretty close to my complexion colour, so it won't look too bright, but I'm going to really go in with the concealer right down my chin, around my mouth. This is going to make it that little bit more full coverage. So we're definitely doing a full coverage on this side. Blend that in, and I'm just using the same brush, pat that out. And I'm bringing that up onto the lid just now, just because I know that I'm going to be using this as an eyeshadow base, and I'm going to pat that out under my eye. So you can see there, it's super full coverage. I'm actually a slight touch paler, but that's alright because I'm going to match it up with my bronzer. But you can see that I've got full coverage. Skin still looks gorgeous because the products are really nice, but that is a really gorgeous full coverage base. Okay, on this side, I'm going to use a lot less concealer, and I'm just going to conceal in here where I've got a little dark circle, the end of my eye, because I've got almost like a bruised kind of tone to my eye. And that's it. I don't have any blemishes on that side of my face at the moment, and I'm going to use a smaller brush just to pat that out, and I've really just used the concealer where I need it To be honest, I do this more often than a full coverage. I really like the way it wears. It's less product, so there's less to move around. So the main difference at the moment is that this side still has kind of natural tones coming through. You can see my skin, whereas this side is like a completely blank canvas. Okay. Right, at this point, I'm going to go in with bronzer. So I'm going to use the Hoola Caramel by Benefit. And on this side, I really need to bronze this up to bring it up to the colour of my body, the tan on my body. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my heavy bronzer. I still love a heavy bronzer, to be honest. So we're going to start, and the way that I like to do this is sheer layers on top of fresh foundation and just nice buffing movements, nice circles. A great tip as well, if you're scared of going in too heavy, is to grab your product and then in your hand, just give it a pat out so you can see that it's quite pigmented, but that way you're kind of patting out the product. It's almost like tapping your eyeshadow brush off. I'm keeping the bronzer nice and high. I want this to be a really beautiful glam makeup, and I want this to be a really beautiful natural makeup. So there's no right and wrong. It's just showing you how to use your product in a slightly different way. I'm going to go under my chin. I'm going to go around my forehead, keeping it nice and high and quite light. You can always go back in to your foundation brush if you need. Oh, that's a good looking cheek. And then I'm going to get a little bit of that bronzer, and we're going to go down the side of the nose and up to the start of the brow. There we are. So you can see that this is starting to look nice and sculpted. We've kept the bronzer nice and high, like I said, nice and smooth. Same thing, if you feel like you've gone in too much, go in with your foundation brush and just push it back a little bit. Nice. Okay, on this side, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing, but lighter. I'm not going to use quite as much product. And if you'll remember, I've got hardly any foundation on the side of my face. So I'm just going to basically add a little bit of sunshine to my face. I'm not using it to sculpt or contour or anything, and I'm going a little bit more rounder on the cheeks. This gives a really nice kind of youthful look. This is a bit more kind of strong and lifted, whereas this is super natural. You can still see my little freckles. Nice. So it obviously takes half the time as well. I'm going to put a little touch on my nose as well. So you can kind of see a difference. Also, something to point out is naturally my face looks a little different on this side. I feel like this side of my face is a little bit lower, whereas this side is a bit higher. So it's just worth pointing out. Okay, so for blush, I'm actually going to go in with a cream blush. Creams tend to look more natural anyway, but I'm going to use more on this side and a little bit less on this side. The product I'm going to use is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Stick in the shade Work. And I'm going to go in with a brush, and I'm just going to go in to the top of the product and start picking that up. And we'll go into the Glam side first, and I'm just going to pat that colour on my cheek, and I'm going to put quite a lot on. I flipping love blush. I'm going to keep it nice and high. And then on this side, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm going to smile, and I'm going to put it where my natural volume in my cheek is, and then I'm going to rest my face and apply it how I like to give a really nice kind of youthful glow. And on this side of my face, I'm actually going to put a bit on my nose, a bit on my chin, a bit on my forehead. It just warms up the whole face. It's nice. So that's a gorgeous creamy product, and like I said, it works really nice on bare skin, it works nice on full foundation. It's a real nice kind of multitasker. So now for powder, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It's just a classic. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the natural side first, and I'm going to get a little brush and just get a tiny amount of powder, and I'm just going to pat that mostly in the centre of my face just to keep what foundation we've put on in place. A little bit on my T-zone just to stop anything looking oily, and then under my eye as well. And I like to use kind of sweeping motions. There we go, and like I said, we've got hardly any product at the back here. Okay, I've not done this in a while, but I'm gonna bake. I feel with the natural side, it looks gorgeous at every step, whereas the Glam side needs a little bit more work. But at the end of it, you'll see the difference, I promise. So I'm gonna go in with a little sponge, and I'm gonna pick up the powder. This is just a dry sponge, and I'm gonna apply that under my bronze. Just going to kind of pinch that and tidy it up so it's super sharp and glam. And then I'm going to do a little bit under my eye as well. Oh my god, there you go. We're starting to see the glam. And a wee touch on my forehead as well, just to really mattify it down. I kind of like to do it around my mouth as well when I'm doing this. And for me, for baking, I really don't leave it on too long. So I'm going to go in with the same brush and I'm just going to use little circle movements just to buff that away. What you're left with is a super chiseled matte finish, which again, I think it leans itself more to glam. There we go. Are you starting to see the difference? Next up, we're going to go with highlight. So I actually am going to use two different products here just because I think it does make a big difference. On the Glam side, we're going to use Becca Opal, which is an old favourite of mine. You can absolutely make powder highlighters look more natural, but creams, again, are the most natural. It gives like a kind of natural dew to the skin rather than a highlight. So I'm going to go in with the Becca Opal and we're going to really do like a blinding highlight. It's been a while. Actually, no, it's not. It's good. I still do this like nearly every day. There we go. And then I'm going to use the highlight above the brow. It kind of gives my skin a little bit more light and makes it look bouncier. I don't know what to do with my nose because it's half and half, but there we go. Okay, so look at that. Pretty nice, huh? And then on this side, we're going to use a cream highlight. So this is the Nude Sticks Nudies in Illuminati. It's just a really gorgeous balm highlight. I'll show you on my hand. So if I do this, can you see it's subtle? It's not super strong, but that's kind of what we want. And I'm actually going to go in with the other side of my little sponge. I'm going to pick up some of that and I'm just going to bounce it. Do you see that? It looks more like a kind of gloss than like a blinding highlight. So nice. It's got a really subtle pink shine, but it's so subtle. I'm going to use a little touch above my eyebrows. Nice. That's pretty much us done for the base. I think that even though this is the Glam side, you can see it's definitely more sculpted. This side, definitely more natural. You can really see my skin through it. But I really like both. Okay, let's zoom you in and do our eyes. Okay, we're actually going to start with brows. So on the natural side, I'm literally going to use my brow gel. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. It's my favourite brow gel. And because we're keeping everything super natural on this side, I'm just going to use my natural brow. And this is just going to groom the brow, put it in place. And because my brow hairs are slightly longer, I've kind of let them grow a little bit. Okay, on the Glam side, I'm actually going to use a pencil. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. And I'm going to take my time to just slightly define the brow a little bit more. So I'm going to use this down the bottom, drop the front of my brow. I'm using little hair-like strokes, to be honest, as well. And then up here, I'm going to slightly lift the arch of the brow. And I'm not doing a super heavy brow just because I don't tend to do really blocky brows anymore. But I am going to give it nice definition. I'm still keeping it pretty natural, to be honest. I like wearing my brows loads of different ways when I'm doing like a super glam makeup. I'm going to finish off with the 24-Hour Brow Setter. Again, this is just really good for diffusing the product. And then I'm actually just going to tidy up the tail of that brow with a little bit of concealer. And this is going to kind of give us a wee highlight as well. There we go. So you can see it's just a little bit more defined, and because we've dropped the front, it's slightly more kind of lifted and it's darker as well as a major point. Let's move on to eyes. Eyes is probably the easiest thing to make a big difference. Like you can do a glam smoky eye or you can do no eyeshadow, and that's kind of how you would change it. So I'm going to prep both my eyes with the NARS concealer in Ginger, the same Radiant Creamy concealer. On this side I'm going to use a little bit more. So just like that much, and then on this side I'm just going to do a couple of little dots, and then I'm just going to pat that concealer out. I really love using the concealer as an eyeshadow base. I think it works great, especially the NARS concealers. You'll see on my channel that I use the soft matte concealer a lot. I use this one a lot. I think I just started doing it for time saving, and then I realised that I actually just really like the way it works. There we go, so we've got a super clean, even base, and then on this side I'm just going to kind of focus it more on the lid and up the crease, so you can see that I've still got a little bit more kind of natural tones in my eye, and just really buff it out. For the palette I'm using, I'm really excited. I'm going to be using the Viseart. This is the neutral mattes, so they're all matte shadows. It's just a bit of a dream palette. It's so gorgeous. Actually, I've really wanted this for a long time. So what we're going to do is on the Glam eye, we're going to do more of a glam smoky eye. It's as easy as that. So I'm going to just go in with like my favourite tones in the palette. I'm going to blank out using this colour, then I'm going to use this colour in the crease, And then I'm going to add a little bit of depth with this really gorgeous kind of deep purple. With this shade all over, just to do a bit of mattifying. Then we'll go into the crease with the second shade. I'm just using a big fluffy brush. I'm going to bring that colour onto the lid a little bit in the outer corner. And I'm blowing it out pretty big. And this kind of eye just looks so good with the base. And because it's all mattes as well, I just think there's something so beautiful about an all matte eye, and I feel like I've not done it in ages. And then I'm going to go in with that darkest shade, and I'm going to keep it on the outer corner. There we go. And then one of my fave tips is just to go back in with your bigger brush and your other transition shades just to kind of buff that out, but that is looking super nice. And then going in with the first transition shade again, I'm just going to really bring that up past my brow. Look at that, look how easy the blend is, oh my god. I'm going in with the brown shade on the lid, just building it up. And I just think because it's matte, oh my god, I just love it. I really flipping love matte eyeshadows. Now with a glam eye, for me, can't do a glam eye without a smoky lash line. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is the shade Demolition, which is like a dark brown, dark cool tone brown. And I'm going to just draw under my lashes. And then I'm going to go in with the darkest shade that I showed you guys, and we're going to buff out the pencil with that shade, and it's just going to mean it's not going to move anywhere. Okay, I think that looks really nice. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes with the Kevin Aquan eyelash curler. And then another thing I'm going to do differently is mascara. So I'm going to use 2 different types of mascara just to show you that it really does make a difference. So on this eye, I'm going to use the new Urban Decay Lash Freak Mascara, which is great. Very drama, which is perfect for this eye look. I think that mascara, I know that I said I was going to use the same product, I'm really sorry. But mascara, I do think that you can get different mascaras for different looks. It's just all about the formula and the wand. I mean, there's some mascaras you can really build up, but for this, I just thought I would show you 2 different mascaras. Obviously, use whatever you want, and you can just take your time to build it up like I'm doing. But I just thought for this video, it would be good to show you the difference. Now look at that, wow. Okay, I think that looks beautiful. Okay, I was going to do liner, but I actually think I'm going to leave it like this. I think that this is such a beautiful way to do eyeshadow, and especially because I'm just using mascara today, I'm not going to do lashes. I actually think that that's really beautiful. Like, I would wear that. Would you wear that? So for this eye, I have concealed already. I've primed my eye. I'm just going to pat out the crease. And this is going to be the quickest eye ever. It's one of my favourite new things to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in just with this shade here. So it's almost like a kind of contour bronzer colour. And I'm going to go in with a big brush. This is like a contour brush almost. But I'm going to go straight in with that product. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pat it out. I'm going to really work that product into the brush. And we're just going to go all over. So I'm just going over my lid, right up to the hairline. So it is actually, you know, it is going to give us that lift. But look how quick this is. Boom. Eyeshadow's done. Bear with me, it will look amazing when I'm finished, I promise. I'm going to go in with the same pencil that I used under this waterline, and I'm going to use this to create a wing. Now, by using a dark brown instead of a black, it's going to give a much more kind of soft appearance, which is really beautiful. And I'm actually going to use a little brush just to help me smudge it out to get that kind of winged eye. So what we're going to do is just draw this along. These pencils are really creamy and easy to work with. There we go, and because it's a pencil, it's a bit softer than a liner. I'm going to go in with my little brush and just go back and forward, really. And you can even just use your finger to fade it back a little bit. And this tone, the tone of this pencil is absolutely gorgeous. It's a really nice cool tone. You don't really see cool tone browns anymore. There we go. Now just use my little brush with some concealer just to tidy it up. And those pencils, once they've set, they're not going anywhere. So it's a really nice way to do a little liner. It's pretty. For mascara on this eye, maybe I should just use the same mascara. Yeah, I will. I will use the same mascara. I told you guys I was going to use the same products. So I'm going to. The only thing that's different is the highlighter, and I apologise for that. Okay, I'm going to use the same mascara. I'm going to use Lash Freak Mascara by Urban Decay. So I'm just going to take my time, and I'm going to use less mascara because I don't want my lashes to be quite as full as this. But saying that, a lot of mascara is something that you could absolutely do regardless of the look that you're going for. So I'm mostly focusing the mascara right at the root of the lash. And then I'm just going to use a little bit in the bottom lashes, and I'm keeping it to the very ends. Kind of makes them look more open, doesn't it? And a little bit bigger. I'm actually just going to use the same Urban Decay pencil to draw in my little freckle on this side. Okay, let's zoom you out and do our lips. There we go, so we have two very different looks I think at the moment. I think the skin looks beautiful on both sides. I love that, but I also think this is quite nice. It's very pretty. So for our lips, I'm going to go for a nude lip, and nobody can stop me. I'm super excited to be using this lipstick. I think it's beautiful. So this is the Patrick Ta lipstick in, oh, she's single. I'm actually not, although I don't have my wedding ring on, so. And the difference here is all about lining your lips. Now, personally, if I was wearing a natural makeup, I would still line my lips and wear my lipstick. It's just like part of my routine. I just love it. But I will show you how to make it look slightly different. Where's my freaking lip liner, dude? I'm going to overline my lips like normal, and I'm going to leave the foundation on my lips, and you can see that I've got a highlight on my Cupid's bow on this side and not on this side. So let's overline. This is the Becca Ultimate Lip Definer in the shade Fearless. It's beautiful. It's such a nice nude lip liner. It's nice and it's quite light and it builds up nicely. And you can see here I'm kind of going in with this lip liner. I'm going in quite heavy and I've really kind of overdrawn my pout. Now I'm going to go in with the Patrick Ta lipstick and I'm just going to fill it in. It's a really nice peachy nude. I think that's gorgeous. I think it's really nice, and it's that light a nude either. Okay, so on the natural side, a really great way to get more of a natural lip look is to actually go in with your lipstick first. So I'm just going to draw this on. There we go. So we've got the same colour, and it actually looks really nice without lip liner. Believe it, I actually do think that. But I am just going to slightly define. Oh my god, I'm kind of obsessed. Kind of obsessed with myself. So you guys, I think that's it. I'm really thrilled because I think that this is a really good representation of a more glam makeup and a more natural makeup. One thing I'm going to do is actually add a little wing to this eye, just because it's not a glam makeup. It's not a glam Jamie G makeup without a wing. I'm going to go in with the Shiseido Arc Liner ink. This is a really cool eyeliner pen, and if I show you, it's got a slightly bent, I'll zoom you in so you can see. Here we are. So, oh, there we go. So you can see the lips a little bit more here. So something that helps you see is if I do this, you can see that this side has got more definition. And if I do this, it's a lot softer. It's more pillowy. And then if I show you this eyeliner look, it's got a really cool little like bent tip, and it just makes it really easy to do your eyeliner basically. So I'm just going to add a little wing onto this makeup. I'm going to keep it quite thin. One last thing, just to make it look a little bit more different. I'm going to go in with that same Urban Decay pencil that we used for this wing and under this eye. And I'm just going to go in my waterline. And again, it's not black, but it is dark. So it's going to give that slightly more kind of smoky vibe. There we go. There we go. There we go. So you guys, that is the finished look. I honestly couldn't tell you what side I prefer more. I think today, the way I'm feeling, I kind of love the glam side. But this, for me, is such a perfect everyday face. I feel like you can really see my skin, but I've kind of like perfected the areas that needed perfecting. And the eye look is just really flat, and I'm still got my kind of favourite almond shaped eye that I like to do on myself. I've got my nice mascara, I just think it's gorgeous. That is how to get a glam face and a more natural face using the exact same product, apart from the highlighter, which I'm sorry about, but you know, I had to. As I said before, I do have a discount code for Cult Beauty, so all that information is down below. Also, you can now use Klarna at Cult Beauty. If you don't know what Klarna is, it is a buy now, pay later kind of system. So Cult Beauty now also offer that. I'm so thrilled. I'm really, really chuffed. I think that my vision came to life. If you guys are interested in what products that I used, everything will be listed down below, all the info that you need. Thank you so much to Cult Beauty for partnering with me. It's always a pleasure. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! As soon as I start filming, Droba starts barking. Oh, I just want to do this eye on this eye, but I can't because it's not part of the video. That you can use for that. I've got these little dimples at the side of my eye and I don't know why. Okay, so the first product we're going to do. What? I can hear Juno crying. And creams naturally look more natural. good English. In the shade Work. You better work. Kind of gives me a 24-hour brows. 24-hour brows. Do you know one thing I will do? I'm gonna bring that onto the crease. No, that's not the crease.